He should have said,
You
"I am
sound
Groot."
like Vin Diesel today. What happened to you?
I was at a bar yelling when you're like, "Nice to meet you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we get back to the age of bars just being at a reasonable volume? My God, what's the point?
Makes you drink more, bud.
How?
Because you can't talk, so you're just sitting there quietly drinking.
People are still talking.
No, you're
That's
still
why
talking.
people sound like
I'm telling you,
And I do
that's
this when I
exactly
talk,
why
I
they
go,
do it, is so you drink more.
It
Yell
doesn't,
louder.
It doesn't make any sense.
I have to use one of those
It does.
ear horns. There we go.
It doesn't make it just if it was just a chill environment, and then I would be more inclined to go to bars and drink.
How's the war going?
Welcome to Funhaus, everybody. This week, I'm joined by my friends James, Adam, and Elise.
Hello.
My name's Daniel. We are Funhaus, and we talk about films. I guess this is the first podcast of 2020. So, yay, 2020.
Good vision. Looking forward.
First film house of 2020.
Yeah.
The first podcast at all.
Absolutely.
Time is a construct, so it really means nothing, Dan.
Yeah.
It's true. But we're going to go through that construct to talk about movies that are coming out this year, what we might be excited about, what we're looking forward to, what we might be dreading a little bit, but maybe just talking about looking forward, what's going to happen in 2020 and movies, and maybe a little bit in TV. Miss Elise, what are you most stoked for in 2020?
I think for me, it's an old reliable Wes Anderson's newest movie.
Which one's that?
The French. What the hell is it
The
called?
Eternals.
Oh.
Is he doing that?
It is the French.
I wrote that down.
Wes
I was
Anderson
like,
will be
what
doing
is
the
that?
Ghostbusters film.
The French Dispatch.
The French Dispatch. Yeah, I've been a big Wes Anderson fan since I was in high school. It's just a kind of reliable constant.
You were the one kid who went and saw Rushmore, and like, what's wrong with you people for not liking this art?
I did see Rushmore.
What was that the one that got you?
Rushmore?
Or what was the
Royal
first Wes
Tenenbaums.
Anderson? Okay.
Royal Tenenbaums was like the one that I was like, oh, I genuinely love this movie.
Still his best, I think.
It's one of my favorite movies. But yeah,
What is this movie about? I have not heard anything about it.
Honestly, like I haven't really even like looked into it.
Probably
I don't think there's that much info.
And but I do have a confidence in it.
Yeah. There's a few guesses. There's going to be a wide shot where people are very small running off in the distance while like a Shin song type sounding thing plays. It'll be beautiful and you'll feel things.
It's going to be very fussy over the production design.
It's going to get a extremely likable performance out of Edward Norton, perhaps, or some sort of other actor who has
Benicio del Toro, maybe?
Bill Murray will be in it.
There will be
Yes.
some. Yeah, that's something Wes Anderson does better than most anything. Is find an actor who isn't necessarily likable and then make them extremely likable in the movie.
Yeah.
Adrian Brody, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, did you see how amazing Adrian Brody was in that movie?
He was alive.
Oh, it
Man.
blows my mind.
I feel like he only comes out to act in his movies
Maybe.
anymore. He's been in hiding.
You know how like Adrian Brody dated Chris Hemsworth's wife years ago?
I don't, but
No.
Okay, then this is gonna blow your mind.
give me the juice.
Blow your mind. There's an amazing photo shoot from when they were together that they did, and we would be remiss not to look up the images of it right now because it's incredible.
So this is
How do I look
you
this
search
up?
like Adrian Brody and then Chris Hemsworth wife photo shoot.
I like how
Elsa Pataki is her name.
Dan did the thing everyone's grandmother did this weekend. It was like, how do I make the tablet go to the?
Well, no, it's a
I just say what I want.
complex thing to look up because
What?
you don't know her name.
Search like Adrian Brody and
Google
Elsa,
knows everything.
Elsa Pataki photo shoot.
Elsa Pataki.
Yeah.
And to a lesser
Boy.
extent, Bing.
Elsa Pataki is the name of Chris Hemsworth's
Current
what?
wife?
Current
or
wife.
Yes.
How do you
That's the one he put
P-A-T-A
6 children
K-Y.
inside of?
found it?
Okay. What's with the photo for the audio listeners? What is the context of the image?
So if
that
you
makes
go
it
to
great?
the one that's and it's in front of their castle because he bought a castle.
Oh, down there.
So add castle, but there's one
Yes.
image. There's one image of her lying on construction equipment. You really gotta get to the full photo shoot to see the search castle like.
This, by the way, is my most anticipated film of 2020.
The castle
gonna-
photo
It's
shoot?
us finding the castle
Okay.
photo
Oh
shoot.
man,
How do
yeah,
you,
maybe if I was navigating it, I could find the pictures. It's hard to.
how do you
You'd have
even
to go back to the
range
web
something
results
like
and
that?
find it probably.
Well, if you guys want to see this image and you're an audio listener, make sure to check out the Filmhouse blog. All the image for this episode and everything we talked about will be posted here.
I don't know. There's like one where like she's lying on a piece of construction equipment or something.
Who got the castle in the divorce?
Maybe you remember when? Maybe that one.
How do you even find these things? Like, what is it? Why does this show up in your
there
feed?
you go. There it is.
Okay.
There it is. Yeah, that's the one. Oh yeah, she's on the dozer or whatever.
What is the point?
We're in the weeds here.
I don't understand. Why is this? Do you just think this is interesting?
I just have a lot of trouble sleeping.
Oh, okay.
And then I wind down rabbit holes.
Okay.
Did they bulldoze the castle?
I don't know.
Well, you know what? Thanks for asking, Dan. No Time to Die is actually, I think, my number one.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked for this.
Most anticipated. We talked about it already pretty elaborately on the No Time to Die podcast that we did a little bit ago. But yeah, I'm very excited for No Time to Die. I've been a James Bond fan for forever.
Oh, actually, there's an image of Daniel Craig bulldozing.
Great. Yeah, let's pull that up.
Yeah,
Check the blog if you want to see it.
It was from Skyfall when there was a bulldozer, and he bought it, and he and his wife built a pool in their Yorkshire home.
Yep.
I try to bring memes to this show.
Are you?
Is that a meme?
Maybe.
Is it a meme if no one's seen it?
Yeah, there is Daniel Craig on a bulldozer.
I know.
From the movie.
But now that's gonna break, and you're gonna be at the forefront of it. You're welcome.
Well, this could be a new show where you have someone up here trying to Google something super fucking obscure that you saw on the internet once at 3 a.m.
Oh, we'll totally make that. For audio listeners out there, I'm shaking my head no.
For audio listeners,
James.
I'm shaking my head yes.
Stop it. They can hear that on the mic.
So yeah, No Time to Die.
Yeah.
Bond.
Yes.
What are you most excited about this
I mean,
movie?
I just think it looks good. I think the
You want to see
trailer
the new
looks-
car? What kind of gadgets do you think he's gonna have?
I never cared about the gadgets and stuff. I just think I like when they're just good, and it looks like we're in an era of good James Bond movies.
What kind of puss do you think he'll bang?
They're good. Well, it's going to be Lea Seydoux until she betrays him, and then he's going to bang Ana de Armas.
That's good. I like that they don't put the onus on him, where he's like, well, I have to bang something else.
He does. I mean,
she
he has
betrayed
to.
me.
What else is he supposed to do? But yeah, we already talked about it ad nauseum, but I'm excited to see Christoph Waltz come back. I like that this era of Bond has really explored a persistent Bond universe as opposed to an episodic Bond universe. That's something that we haven't really gotten as well as it has been before. And then I'm also kind of, I'll miss Daniel Craig, but I'm also excited to see what the next generation of Bond is going to be. So it'll be a nice send-off.
Do you think they'll do the thing that they try to do with Sean Connery, where 45 years from now, a young, like a Bond who's not even born yet, he's going to go to a shack and then all of a sudden goes, hey, it's me, Daniel Craig.
No, it won't be Daniel Craig because they won't be able to get him just the way Sean Connery.
Yeah, it'll have to be some other old actor. It'll be an older Adrian Brody.
I wish there was an image of the guy who wrote Skyfall and his face when they got back to him and they said Sean Connery said no. And he's like, Sean Connery said, big smile, no. Everything flushes out of his body. And he's like, well, what are we going to do? What do you mean? We're already in pre-production. We're going.
It's Albert Finney.
What are you talking about?
What was that character? Was that like his butler or something?
It was the groundskeeper of his estate, who was supposed to be Sean Connery.
They're like, old English actor with white hair. Could be anybody.
So I think this year there are a couple of movies that could be so terrible they're interesting. We're watching the trailer for Venom 2 or Venom 1 right now. There's no trailer for Venom 2.
There's one in my head.
How does it go? What song do they remix and re-record really slowly for the Venom 2s?
What Britney Spears song has the word carnage in it?
Toxic, probably, because of the Venom.
Ooh.
Right?
That's a good idea.
Here, hot take. I'm hopeful for Venom 2. The same way I'm hopeful for Suicide Squad's.
I'm morbidly curious. That was on. I made a small list of the movies I'm morbidly curious about, and that was on it.
Yeah, I think Venom 1 was rushed, and it was stuck in a weird time trap of 2004. Like the last movie that the director saw was like Ghost Rider, and went, yeah, we can adapt. We could do that for Venom. But now that Andy Serkis is involved, and they maybe have a better idea of what makes Venom interesting, and I think Tom Hardy was the only one on set who knew what was going on.
He was in his own world, and it was the best part of the movie.
Yeah, because he's a crazy person, and I love it.
So after it makes a fortune, hopefully they trust him to do bizarre, strange things.
Yeah, because it might just be a reboot. Maybe, hopefully. Kind
So
of. Like a
what-
soft reboot.
What kind of like animal cage should he get in this movie?
Oh, man. We already
Like-
did Fish Tank.
Yeah, but like what's the bigger, better animal to do?
I think he goes on the show Shark Tank,
okay.
a metaphorical.
Except that the product he's pitching is an aquarium that can hold a shark.
What I got here is Shark Tank.
What do you do, my Shark Tank?
And then Mark Cuban goes, "This is the dumbest idea ever." And then he becomes Venom, and and then he kills everyone on set, and then people clap. It's good.
He kills everyone on set, and then he goes, "I was bullied on my planet." And you're like, "What are you talking about? Shut up."
I think he'll.
Yes.
I'm. Like,
Who cares? Whatever. Who cares?
someone.
I mean,
cares.
Venom.
I
It's
think
gonna
a
get
lot of
made.
people
We can't
care.
stop it at this point. So it's gonna get made. So all you can do is hope that it's better than the first
You
one.
sound like
was.
Bruce Willis in 12 Monkeys, where like, we can't stop it. It's gonna happen no matter what, unless. But then you get stuck in the time loop. Spoiler about 12
when the
Monkeys,
creative
sorry.
team is swapped out. That's a good sign. In the case of a bad movie.
Yeah, and I guess we can be hopeful. We can be optimistic.
Yeah.
It's cool that a Venom movie is being made, and they're hopefully learn from their mistakes. That's what I'm hoping for with Death on the Nile. I'm not joking. I'm
Same.
serious. That movie made a ton of money. The
Sequel to-
Murder on the Orient Express. Can we say Orient anymore? I don't know.
Is Kenneth Branagh returning?
kidding, that's
As
a joke.
Hercule Poirot.
Of course
and
he
to
will.
direct, Yes.
But
Is Ray back?
Uh-oh.
no, Daisy Ridley will not be back. It'll be a
Daisy
new
Liz-
cast.
Oh, did she do it? I never saw the movie.
They all did it. It's a
Spoiler!
fucking
Oh my
100-year-old
God.
book.
Uh-huh.
Oh my
Anyway.
God! Spoiler.
Anyway,
When does Imagine Dragons come in Death of the Nile?
Don't let the trailer fool you. If Death of the Nile has a cool trailer, it's a lie.
but
cannot
I had high hopes for this movie. The movie kind of fell lackluster in places. That being said, like I'm sure we all feel about Venom 2, I'm hoping that Death of the Nile, they'll sort of learn from some of the criticism of the first one, or they'll just think that they can make a ton of money again and then repeat those mistakes. I don't know.
This is the beauty of the franchise era in which we live, where if it's something that's known, it doesn't matter if that known thing is bad or good or a failure or a success. It still has more value than the original idea you just came up with in your head. Because when Murder on the Orient Express came out, we went and saw it in theaters, and it ends with him going like the last line of the movie is he's like, "Oh, I've just gotten a letter from the Nile."
Yeah.
and I like looked at Elisa. I was like, "Really? They're seeding a Poirot cinematic universe right now?"
I knew exactly what I was like. They are.
But I was like, luckily the movie was bad, so it's going to be like it. My favorite ones are the Dracula Untolds. They're the joke
Where they
ones,
abandon it?
Yeah.
where it's like we'll see you next time, and there is no next time
Right.
because it was a failure.
One of the best
Mario
versions of
Brothers?
that- I was saying Mario Brothers is the best
okay.
one. It's like, guys, we have to go back. And they're like, the studio goes, no, you don't.
Yeah,
You're-
but
no.
that was a different era. Now we live in the era of them going like, we have to go back, and you're like, no, you
Yeah.
don't. And they go,
No,
we did.
it's already being
We did.
filmed.
Yeah, we started it.
Yeah.
We made it. It's being made.
We were watching the trailer for Death on the Nile, and I totally forgot everyone in this
Orient
ensemble. I mean, Orient Express. I forgot everyone who was in this ensemble.
Johnny Depp.
It was
Yeah.
so impressive.
What is his name? Derek Jacobi.
The only one I remembered was Disney Ridley.
Yeah.
Disney Ridley.
Maybe Disney will have her change her name.
Yeah.
I've been awake since like 3 a.m.
You know,
so.
there was. Oh, we also came back from the Game Awards last night, so I've been screaming.
I
at
wasn't
people.
partying.
I was partying hard. I had a Mai Tai
I
that
don't
smelled
go
like a
parties.
swimming pool, and I said, I'm going to call it early. I wonder though if only because there's a lot of alcohol and cocaine in Hollywood. If someone drunkenly at some sort of Disney meeting, what if we give her a bunch of money, she changes her name to Disney Ridley? And they're like, we're going to do it. And they wake up in the morning, they go, had some thought about the Disney Ridley idea. Let's not do it.
Let's do it.
Moving forward.
Anyway.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. Have you seen the original? I was thinking about renting it.
Yeah, years ago, because I used to, like, when I was a kid, I watched all the Poirot stuff.
And
Yeah, when you
there's
were a
like 50
kid,
books, right?
Big nerd.
I was like that kid that at a very young age read a lot of Agatha Christie, even though a lot of it I didn't understand or words I didn't know, but I just was a nerd, big
Yeah.
nerd.
Adam and I are reading X-Men. You're reading Hercules. You're like, my favorite superhero is a detective from Belgium.
Yeah, I was watching Cyclops rail Psylocke. I was like,
What
this
comics
is
are you reading?
X-Men. It happened.
He didn't
Read it.
actually. They were wearing full body suits, but the way he was holding her, she was almost certainly getting railed.
I mean, look, Watchmen tackled this issue where they're like, you're all sex fiends and psychopaths, and this is the only way you can get off. That's why the X-Men are great.
yeah.
Oh, we're watching a trailer for Mulan. Disney made, was it $10 billion in the box office?
Wow, that's amazing.
Prior to Star Wars?
Wow, that's crazy. Good for them. I wish they could pay the visual effects houses that made all their movies.
No.
Oh, they can't? Too
Nope,
bad.
Too bad. Sorry, man.
They took the lowest bidder, I'm guessing.
Well,
You don't make $10 billion by spending money, James.
That's fair. That's fair.
What?
You don't spend your money, I guess, is the thing.
No, spend someone else's money. You get China to pay for it. Put some political ads.
I
in the movie.
appreciate
Where's
that.
Mushu?
Where is Mushu? Is
In
a great
our
question.
hearts.
I do appreciate that Mulan is not in Aladdin, because Aladdin again is one of my worst of 2019, and the Beauty and the Beast. Making a movie just to make it again, like when it's already iconic, is really lame. I guess the assumption is that Mulan, the animated film, isn't iconic enough. So they're just like, we'll just pull the brand name from it. People don't remember the songs or the scenes as much as maybe they should, which I think is pretty cruel, because that's got some great music and it's a really good movie. But I'm glad that we are removed enough from it that it's just looks like it's a new telling of the story again, as opposed to a shitty shot for shot.
I remember nothing about Mulan other than a man fell in love with another man, and then they basically pre-parodied what Futurama did in an episode where Zach Brannigan fell in love with Leela dressed as a dude.
They used the
Pre-parodied?
weights around the pole to brace themselves instead of climbing them up at them. You see?
Yes.
Anyway.
And they said be a man,
Yeah.
and I'm okay with that.
So I'm rolling a trailer for Blade Runner 2049 because there is no Dune trailer, but I think that's my most anticipated. I think around Christmas time of 2020 we'll get Denis' version of Dune, which
Right there with you.
could be one of the coolest movies ever. It's, I think we like Star Wars a lot, and Dune is maybe a little more mature, a little more high-minded even than we get with Star Wars. It's, epic sci-fi at its best, I think. So
Yeah.
I'm very stoked for this movie.
Dune's my Venom too, where we tried Dune in the 80s
Oh, yeah.
and they said Star Wars is huge. We need to get our own Star Wars. David Lynch, and he went, what?
Well, didn't David Lynch turn down directing like Return of the Jedi or something? He's
turned
like,
out-
I want to do Dune.
80s was a weird time where they said, this guy made Eraserhead. Let's give him something
Yeah.
sci-fi. Weird. Yeah, let's give him this high concept book in a fantasy world where spice is life.
But
Yeah.
it is an amazing book. If you haven't read it, you've got a year to get through it. I highly recommend it. But I think the movie will be beautiful. It's got half of Hollywood is cast in the movie, so
I also think he has a good track record of making things a little bit more digestible.
sure.
Like,
Oh, yeah,
'cause
Dune's dense.
Dune is dense. I think the Blade Runner concept too. If you watch Blade Runner and then you watch Blade Runner 2049, you're like, oh, one is a coherent version of the other. Kind
Sure.
of. And so I also think Arrival was one of my favorite movies of that year, and it dealt with such kind of complex, heady subject matter.
Like creating a language.
Yeah, but it did a really good job teaching the audience, like, as it was going on. And so if Dune is dense, I think that hopefully he'll be the right person to make it coherent.
Yeah. We've talked about this with like Spielberg and J.J. Abrams, where there's that magician's trick of, I'm going to make this digestible for you, and there's going to be parts that don't make sense, but in the context that I'm showing it to you, your brain will go, oh, that all worked. I believe the magic trick that you're doing. And I always mess up his last name. Denis Villeneuve?
Yeah.
Something like
Villeneuve.
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 Something like that?
He
Sounds right.
I feel like he's one of those guys where he actually understands the subject matter sometimes better than the original creator.
Well, yeah, and that is a book that they just throw you in the middle of a very deep story and don't explain anything to you. There does have to be work from a director to make it an understandable film.
There's a fantastic parallel to this. If you go to the YouTube channel Just Right, they did a great thing on the ending of Return of the King. and how they tackle the question of the issue everyone had with the ending being too long. And the channel talks about how actually genius it is, and removing the battle of the Shire at the very end, and how it made it actually more impactful. And that's one of those moments where this person who's adapting it, Peter Jackson and his team, understood the subject matter almost maybe better than Tolkien in a weird way. He says, well, no, if having the Shire have a fight in the Shire
and shit.
Yeah, they're like, it sort of takes away from the mystique of the Shire of being sort of, separate from this other world.
It's a haven, yeah.
Yeah, and like it made the movie better by having this. I was like, I never thought about it that way. That's genius. The same way Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah. Also, I think that like having them return to the Shire, which is like their beautiful home that was always this haven for them, and then Frodo not being able to adjust back to life there is much more like poetic and impactful.
Well, there's so much more in just the facial expressions between Samwise and Frodo that I didn't pick up on before.
Yeah.
But similarly, there was so much Blade Runner like buzz and all this stuff with like, did you know Decker's a replicant? And I think the director actually understood better than Ridley Scott why it made more sense for Decker to not be a replicant,
or for it to be vague.
I mean, I'm just saying it makes the story better, especially if you're going to do a sequel, that Decker is not a replicant, only because it says more about our society where the person it sort of lessens like Batty, the character who is the android, who is the skin job, who loves life more than this person who can enjoy life but chooses to live a robotic lifestyle. And so I thought that it's like he understood that more and had to basically say, no, it doesn't make any sense for Harrison Ford's character to be a replicant because it blah, blah, and then he ended up making a sequel that in a lot of ways I think surpassed the original film, which is like probably an impossible thing to do, but it also, one, it builds upon it, makes the previous movie better, and it stands on its own, which is like such an impossible task. So him making Dune gets me very excited because he's had more than a year to make it.
Well, and it's just part one. I think it's going to be a 2-part film.
Put it in my veins.
Yeah,
I want it.
Exactly.
Here's the thing: is anyone gonna watch it though? If he couldn't get people to go see Blade Runner,
that's the problem. That Blade Runner movie did not make its budget back.
But that Blade Runner movie's so good,
and it was awesome.
I feel like also the Hollywood accounting is really weird.
Yeah.
But it's funny because the original Blade Runner was like this major box office bomb, but obviously ended up inspiring a lot of everything moving forward, and it is so highly regarded. And then Blade Runner 2049 only made $250 million. Sorry, guys. I think at this point it has made its money back. If not from Blu-ray sales, there's some sort of streaming.
I'm just saying we're in the era of sure things and not questionable bets, and so if they are doing a 2-parter, hopefully, they get to make the second part.
Yeah, I'm just similar to Blade Runner though.
Him make some money.
Having a template or something, basically an example of what not to do already existing, is also very helpful. Where they go, should we put Sting in? I'm thinking we do. I don't know. David looks excited about it.
He was supposed to be naked in that, but the studio freaked out at the last minute.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's supposed to have words too, and they cut that.
Did he not have any dialogue?
Yeah. Patrick Stewart's like, fight me in this cube armor.
Anyway, will Kyle MacLachlan have a cameo?
I sure hope so.
Maybe. That movie is awful, though. I watched it for the first time.
It has some redeeming aspects, but yeah, no, I don't, and I know nothing about this Charlemagne kid other than he's
Chalamet.
Who?
Timothy Chalamet.
Charlemagne.
Yeah.
When
Chalamet.
Villanueva cast Charlemagne in his film, I didn't know what was going on.
As you know, words are hard.
Timothy Chalamet.
But the other thing too is like, if I really like the movie Enemy. I really like Prisoners, Arrival, Blade Runner, and those were all basically back to back to back every year.
Yeah.
And then he actually has been taking time with Dune because of just sort of the scale of it. That excites me a lot too. Where it's like, oh, what happens if you give this guy some proper time to make a movie?
Is it Timothée Chalamet? He's got an accent aigu over the E at the end of his name.
We all have an accent aigu somewhere in our lives.
Well, I have high hopes for Timothée Chalamet.
Henceforth on Filmhouse, he shall be known as Timothée Chalamet.
So with HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit, you can get easy seasonal recipes and pre-measured ingredients delivered right to your door. All you have to do is cook and enjoy. HelloFresh is home-cooked meals made simple. They make cooking delicious meals at home a reality. regardless of your comfort in the kitchen. From step-by-step recipes to pre-measured ingredients, you'll have everything you need to get a wow-worthy dinner on the table in just about 30 minutes. Say goodbye to endless grocery store trips and takeout food. HelloFresh has you covered. With HelloFresh, you will make deliciousness part of your every week. Break out of your dinner rut with HelloFresh's 20-plus seasonal, chef-curated recipes each week. There's something for everyone, from family recipes to calorie smart and vegetarian, and fun menu series like Hall of Fame and craft burgers. HelloFresh is flexible and fits your lifestyle. Add extra meals to your weekly order, as well as yummy add-ons like garlic bread and cookie dough. You can easily change your delivery days, food preferences, and skip a week whenever you need to. I personally love how easy HelloFresh makes preparing dinner. I know that I can have something hot and tasty on the table for my family in about half an hour. I don't have to hunt down a recipe or tangle with a grocery store. HelloFresh takes care of the hard stuff. I'm a taco dude, and they always have great new spins on tacos, like Southwest beef tacos or pork and poblano tacos, both favorites of mine. I really dig learning new techniques, like quick pickling veg or making a fast crema for a simple way to add that next level to my meals. So you can get 10 free meals with HelloFresh by going to hellofresh.com/filmhouse10 and using the code filmhouse10. That's 10 free meals from HelloFresh by going to hellofresh.com/filmhouse10 and using promo code filmhouse10 when you check out. So thanks HelloFresh for bringing us here this week to talk about movies we're looking forward to. We're dreading a little bit in 2020. Is there anything else you guys are like maybe dreading? Or at least put morbidly curious is a much better term than dreading.
I mean, no one's forcing you to sit and watch this.
I was going to say, it's basically, there's the zero hype category, and for me, the Eternals is there. Zero hype.
Zero hype?
Zero hype.
Maybe, is it because the property itself is so unknown?
Yeah,
or you're tired of Marvel movies?
Here's the only, I'm not tired of Marvel movies, and I'm excited to see where they go kind of with the franchise next. I think this is going to be the only promotion that has stirred me in any way in this movie is the fact that Guardians of the Galaxy is one of my favorites. And that was the one I'm like, what are they doing?
Yeah, Man.
Like, not that I know that comics can be good no matter how absurd the premise or whatever, but I was like, man, they're really going cosmic so quick with all this. But then I thoroughly enjoyed how separate it felt from everything else, and it allowed you to breathe new life and new tone into these characters. And I think that tone leaked out into other movies like Thor Ragnarok that made it even better. So, but other than that, like them standing on stage at Comic-Con and showing all of their costumes, and they all just look like Power Rangers or whatever. I'm like, none of that looks appealing to me at all. So I just am at zero hype for that. I'm not anticipating it. I don't think it's necessarily going to be bad. I just don't feel anything. So
well said.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know. It's a Kunal.
Nanjiani.
Just stop
pronouncing names. Just say they and them.
I like that he had biceps in the last season of Silicon Valley.
Yeah, he's been training.
So it's like he's training for this movie, which is interesting. So it's like that's been sort of marketing for the movie in a weird way. But yeah, I'm with you too. Where I'm like, I know nothing about this franchise, but Marvel believed in it enough that they're going to dump millions of dollars into it and said, this is for our next phase, which I guess will lead into Galactus possibly, or
Maybe.
Apocalypse. I don't know.
Probably not Apocalypse.
Well, I'm trying to think of like what's the next Thanos.
They're out. Galactus might be it.
Yeah, but
he's very tied to like the Fantastic Four, and they're not out yet.
Well, if you think about Avengers and the first time we saw Thanos to when he actually arrived on screen, they have
true.
time. So,
got a decade, really.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like they're going to
years.
do another 10-year build because they're like, well, man, we got to stretch this stuff out.
Yeah.
So they're gonna figure out Fantastic Four. They're gonna figure out X-Men. It's gonna somehow play into Eternals. I don't know how you make that interesting, but that is my morbid curiosity of, well, let's see what you can do.
There is of course Sonic as well.
That's under the morbidly curious category, maybe.
Yeah, which I don't know how much I can talk about Sonic anymore. We're gonna see it. It's
No,
happening.
Yeah, yeah.
It's coming.
That's why it doesn't fall in the same category as Eternals, because I'm on it. I'm there to see Sonic. I just if this movie comes out and it gets like it's like a 30-40% or whatever on Rotten Tomatoes, and all those people screamed about how ugly Sonic was, it's just like, come on. Come on. Really, we're doing this? We did this? We forced this hand?
See, I think we've belabored Sonic a lot, but have we decided what the last shot of the movie or the end credit scene's going to be? Like what secondary?
Princess Daisy kicks a door in and goes, Sonic and James Marsden, we need you.
She calls him by his actor
And she
name.
throws him his Cyclops visor, because who cares? Sorry.
There are a lot of sequels coming, or like almost soft reboots, like stuff like The Grudge and Saw are getting sort of reinvigorations. And then, like, I mean, there are the sequels that are, years in the making.
Like Minions 2?
Like that, and then Legally Blonde, Bill and Ted are getting new movies.
Really? Legally Blonde?
Yeah, there's a third one coming.
Legally Blonder? I guess you switch the E with a 3. Yeah, you got a movie.
Legally Blonde.
We could do that. Yeah, let's fast track this bitch.
But then other stuff like, there's another Halloween off of last year's.
No.
I think, are they doing the 2 at a time this time with Halloween?
I don't know.
I feel like I might have heard that somewhere.
Conjuring, of course, like Quiet Place 2, Fast and Furious we always get.
How can you
Fast
get
and the Furious
quieter?
9. Is that timed with the video game release? Do we know?
I don't think
Do we care?
so. I think the video game actually came out 15 years ago.
Did it just like look
It's
real bad?
it's an HD remaster
Of a game
of
that doesn't exist.
Yeah, that was just unreleased.
There
It
was that Vin Diesel game.
The Wheelman.
Was that it?
No, you're thinking of
rocket
Chronicles of
between
Riddick,
cars?
Escape from Butcher Bay.
That was actually a good game, right?
What other Vin Diesel video game do you want to talk about? He keeps doing them.
None.
Yeah, did you know The Last Witch Hunter was based on
No.
his D&D character?
We do. We don't care.
He secured funding by saying, this movie's based on my D&D character, and they said, right this way, Mr. Vin Diesel.
Not everything has to be a franchise, though. So I am excited for Tenet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Maybe one of the greatest
there's-
living directors.
There's one person out there who spits when someone goes, what about a franchise? He goes, I've done that once and I shan't ever do it again.
I made the perfect superhero trilogy.
Yeah.
And it's not even considered a superhero trilogy, so fuck you.
Yeah. I will make a movie. And the letters will be the same forwards and backwards. What does it mean? Nothing? Was it based on nothing?
Yeah. I have a brother who has an American accent, and I have an English accent. Fuck you.
I do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Put yourself on away and get on my set.
There are Tenet teasers floating around out there, but they keep getting struck from wherever they're put up. So he's being really hardcore about keeping
I've seen
even
them
those
in
few
theaters, though.
those few images
Yeah.
off the internet.
Is it just shrouded in mystery? Is that
I
the
think
sort of
so.
thing? Okay.
I mean, even that teaser, there was like very little in it. He's like looking at a bullet hole for
That's-
Yeah.
a few seconds.
I think, I think Chris Nolan's probably made some of my favorite one-off movies, like The Prestige and
I do love
Memento.
Inception.
Others.
Inception's
Inception, which is
awesome.
just like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
He was like, I'm sure someone was like, this could be a franchise, and he goes, I'm moving on. I'm doing a
Yes.
movie about space after my Batman movie. Fuck you.
Yeah.
well,
yeah.
even maybe his most generic movie, Dunkirk, was like, fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Even Insomnia, guys. Insomnia.
It's a one movie of his.
He got Al Pachinko.
He did get
that,
Pachinko.
That and Following, I haven't actually seen.
Well, he
You've
showed
never
up.
seen Insomnia?
No.
Insomnia is good. He showed up like 2 weeks before they were starting to shoot that movie, though.
Mm-hmm. That's because that's
With
right after
Pachinko.
Memento, which
Awesome movie.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, at this point, it's really weird where people are like, I like artsy movies, like Chris Nolan movies that have $400 million budgets, but he makes original stuff. Like even I know people rip on Interstellar, but like still great freaking sci-fi movie with some great music, some great scenes, a pretty heady idea.
He seems to be one of the few guys that can do something completely original and get $200 million to make it. I just there's not a lot of guys that can do that.
And wear one of those like tweed vests on set all day and look like a GQ model. I don't know. He wears a suit. I like it. He's a good-looking guy.
I think he says that sets a tone. If he shows up in a suit, it kind of sets a tone for the set.
Fear.
Are you guys excited for Wonder Woman? This trailer is
Chris Nolan's
a little
Wonder
weird.
Woman?
Yes, Chris Nolan's Wonder Woman.
I wasn't excited really until I saw the trailer.
Trailer looks
And
good.
I think the trailer looks, I like how saturated it is. I like that it's set in this kind of decade that we haven't really explored superheroes with. I do think it's so wild how the hub of the DCEU or DCCU, whatever they want to call it, was so bad, but the outside of it is so good. Like, imagine if Aquaman and Wonder Woman 1 and 2 were like the Iron Man, Captain Americas, and then you were like, can you imagine what it's going to be like when they get together? It's going to be so bonkers and so off the wall. Like, it's going to be so much fun, but we've somehow done it in reverse where we made the fun movies after we already made the not fun movies in the center of it.
Yeah.
The front end of this trailer gave me Ragnarok vibes.
Oh, yeah. I think they're definitely going for
the
Ragnarok.
original poster that came out was basically Ragnarok vibes, which, I mean, Thor Ragnarok, I remember when the first trailer came out, it did the same 80s nostalgia thing.
Yeah.
Except it was just more of like, well, that's kind of what the poster's selling, not really what the movie is.
No, not at all.
And then, Love and Thunder, too, is also like doing that sort of motif. But Wonder Woman in the 80s excites me. That's a cool idea. I think the fact that they went with World War I in the first one was kind of cool. That's another thing that you don't really see a lot of movies taking place in. But 80s has basically been done to death in media in the last 10 years. But Wonder Woman in that time makes sense, and then plucking Chris Pine into it as well is interesting.
Yeah.
I like Chris Pine a lot.
I'll
I think
watch
he's
him
a
do
really
it.
fun actor.
Yeah.
I think
And
it's...
wait, Gal Gadot. Not to shortchange her, she's pretty fucking incredible.
No, she's an amazing Wonder Woman. I think we are still in the issue of, and someone is going to correct me on this, but like villains in the DC universe maybe just aren't nearly as good as villains in Marvel,
I think you're
or
correct.
at least Wonder Woman specifically. I mean, fuck it, I'm going to say everywhere because like Black Manta sucks.
What? He made a weapon.
He was fine in that, but I'm like, if that's your starting point, it's like,
What about Ocean Master?
yeah, but even then, that's just Aquaman. He's just fighting himself again. But
No,
I'll say this:
the villains suck. You're
smartly,
right.
I think
How
it
dare
thinks
you.
they
Batman has
understand.
great villains.
They understand the one.
Yeah, take away
yeah, come
Batman's
on.
villains. You're
And
right.
Mitchell Pitlick or whatever.
Mr. Freeze, Captain Boomerang.
But I'll just say
Stiltman.
that
Wait,
it
that's
seems like
Marvel.
they understand that maybe they don't have that strong villain base for some of these ancillary characters that are more interesting than the central figures. And so they're casting great people. Pedro Pascal, I don't care who he's supposed to be portraying. I want to see him as a bad guy chewing up scenes.
Looks like he's having fun.
He's fucking great.
Yeah.
I want to see Wonder Woman swinging from lightning bolts or whatever she's doing in this trailer. I
like that they're embracing the silliness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you watch it and you go, man, you watch this Aquaman and you go, what would a Superman be like in this world? You're like, God, could you imagine what a Superman would be like in this universe? It'd be so cool. Like, maybe in the background of Wonder Woman, you're going to see a thing going and you're like, oh, that's landing in Kansas. I can't wait to see. And that, except we've already seen it.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't match at all. And as much as I like Man of Steel and love me some Henry Cavill, gosh, it would have been great if we had done this in reverse. And then allow Henry Cavill to be a fun Superman, a golden age Superman.
Maybe we're moving in that direction, fingers crossed, and then Batman will continue doing his own thing over there, and like he will be his own little hub, and they go, we're gonna do that. Are you upset that a man is riding an ostrich?
No,
dam?
I'm not upset. I'm loving
okay, that's
it.
fine, because we're talking about superheroes, and you're obsessed with Dr. Dolittle. What is your problem?
I
We
wanna
already
see
got
this
this
guy
movie with
riding
Eddie
the
Murphy. We
ostrich.
don't need another one. I think we got 2 of them at one point as well. I'm hopefully you're right, James, and like they're gonna I don't know. They're gonna just look at the index and go, can we do this again?
Yeah,
but
how
fun?
do you make it work? So we've already things are all so confused.
Yeah,
I do think they have a big plan for 2021 and 2022. There's going to be a Flash. There's going to be Black Adam and Shazam.
Shazam 2 got greenlit.
Something
yeah.
else.
Well, I mean, there's Birds of Prey coming out, which I'm bummed that it still looks like Suicide Squad. I was like, I wish the movie had opened up with her getting laser tattoos removed or whatever.
Well, it is weird because we'll see how it turns out, but Birds of Prey does kind of feel like a Suicide Squad that wasn't cut by a trailer house, So like it does feel like, oh, they used less Red Giant filters on this.
Yeah.
That's inside baseball, but
I gotcha.
But
it is weird it's taking so long for another Aquaman. I think that's not till 2022 after that movie made $1 billion.
It takes a long time to film things underwater, Dan.
I wonder if
Does
it's
it?
contractual stuff.
Maybe. I don't think they
people they
knew
want.
it was going to do
No.
as big as it did. So they're
I
probably,
did.
Yeah.
Elise always believed in it.
I thought it.
She always believed.
I thought it was gonna crash hard. Only
James Wan.
Only because I'm like, Entourage doesn't know everything. I'm just gonna throw that out there. And you didn't get James Cameron to do it, so it's not gonna work. Entourage sucks.
I'm always looking for like a weird movie, and I don't know if it'll pan out. I don't know if they'll pull it off. But there's this Fantasy Island remake, but it's reimagining it as a horror.
Okay.
Which I think is like pretty weird.
Interesting.
And fun.
Did you say as a horror or as a whore?
Yeah,
Both.
there's just Horror Island.
I hadn't heard anything about this. So how is it a horror?
I don't know. I just have
It's
read
like
the
a
log line.
granting wishes, but in like scary.
I've only
like,
read the log line
I think the
for it.
robots go evil or something.
Only read the log line.
Oh, so it's like a Westworld.
I think
sort
so.
of vibe?
That's
Okay.
the vibe I get from it. As you go and they make your wishes come true, but maybe there's something dark in your wishes.
Oh,
You
okay, I
should have
see.
been more
It's a
specific.
Blumhouse.
It's,
okay.
yeah, it's probably going to be when it comes to Amazon Prime. Watch it. It's got Lucy Hale in it, which, I mean, she seems like a lovely person, but I don't know if she's known for like
What
her,
has she done of
her
late?
acting. She did Truth or Dare. If you're familiar with it.
Are
we
we-
watched
The
it-
weird face
we,
one?
we watched it at your apartment. Yes.
Yep.
Are we getting Hervé Villachez back?
Who?
Is that the little guy?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the little guy?
Uh,
The plane.
Anyway,
Yeah, that
it's a shame.
Well, no, I'm actually, I like this sort of stuff when someone goes, hey, we're doing a 21
Yeah.
Jump Street movie, and they go, okay, well, let's not just
Yeah.
do the, like, let's be somewhat meta about it and have some fun with it. That is at least interesting to do that with a property because, like we've been saying in most of this podcast, where you kind of can't get stuff made unless there's a name attached to it and there's any sort of hint of nostalgia, even though I'm pretty sure 99% of the people who are going to go see this movie have never seen the
No.
original
Oh, no, no,
show.
no.
They're just aware of the tropes. What is wrong with you? Do you not like Michael Rooker?
I do. I think he
He's
was fucking awesome.
America's actor. He rides motorcycles. He
is
has
he
a
the-
fake hand.
Is he the guy that was hiding out on the island that was one of the original
Yes.
scientists?
He's Lawrence Fishburne
Yeah.
of Predators.
Predators.
I don't know
Wow.
this, again, I don't know this is going to pan out, but I like the idea.
Yeah.
Sure. He's also got Jin Yang
It's got
from
Jin Yang.
Silicon Valley. Oh, he's one of my favorites.
Cool.
That's weird.
I knew
Yeah.
nothing of this movie until we just started discussing it.
I'm always jealous.
You're welcome,
though,
James.
When you see movies like this,
Probably
when
won't see it.
it's an Adam Sandler movie, and he goes, "This wacky husband's with his friends in Hawaii for 2 weeks." You're like, they must have had a great time filming that movie. That's cool. So like Fantasy
Yeah.
Island, they're like, they're in the Bahama or
Yeah.
they're in Tahiti.
Bring your
for-
spouse.
Yeah, and they're like, they're on this resort, and it's like, must have been fun to be a sound guy in that movie. Just be in paradise.
Yeah.
He
Lucky
lived
them.
in a tent.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, you're in a FEMA tent. It's basically Fire Island.
So yeah, the new Ghostbusters has the wolf guy from Stranger Things.
The wolf
wolf
guy? You
guy.
mean Finn
Finn
Wolfhard?
Wolfhard?
That's it.
Fun fact: Adam Driver learned to time travel, and Finn Wolfhard is just a young version of him.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Because
That
honestly,
voice dropped.
if Finn doesn't cut his hair and put on 85 pounds of pure muscle, he does not deserve that name.
Did you guys like this trailer?
I liked the experience. That being said, I knew nothing about this movie, and the whole time I was like waiting for that moment where a van pulls up and then it shows a low shot of boots hitting the ground, and then it pans up and then it's Dan Aykroyd. Bill
The other
Murray
ones.
and
A picture of Ernie Hudson.
Ernie Hudson.
Okay.
And I was like, and they're like, you guys got in over your heads, and we're here to help. That's what I kept waiting for. And then when the trailer ended, I was like, oh no, it's just a kid.
I don't know. I'm kind of glad they didn't have that.
No, I wanted that.
I mean, unpopular opinion for me, I don't like this.
No,
I'm
not
not-
even Paul Rudd's.
I like Paul Rudd, but sometimes Paul Rudd is misused, especially when it comes to not giving him great comedy. And this feels like a coming of age story as opposed to what I loved about Ghostbusters is snappy dialogue, snappy interactions.
Small business plan.
Yeah,
Adults saying naughty things.
Yeah, I mean, which obviously like the kind of lackluster like what would you call it, like Galbusters tried to do and failed at.
This seems like a right turn from that.
It does seem like oh, we can't attempt that again because we failed with that, so we've got to give it a totally different tone now. Now it's Super 8.
Well, yeah, it's
with
Stranger
Ghostbusters
Things.
Kids, Stranger Things.
Almost quite literally.
But I'm like, it's not doing it for me.
Again, it would have
into
done
it.
it for me if everything it was showing me was like from the first 15 minutes of the movie, and then around the 20-minute mark, the actual Ghostbusters show up.
They can't spoil
and
that,
it's like
though,
helping them.
yet.
And I'm like, that's the movie. No, I wanted a new Ghostbusters,
Yeah.
not a new movie named Ghostbusters.
Right. Yeah, it does feel like it's relying a little too heavily on the nostalgia parts of it because they have to do this sort of soft reboot thing. I really like Jason Reitman. He
I
has
like him too.
I really liked Up in the Air. Really like Thank You for Smoking. It's one of it's a really good comedy.
So good.
And
Not a Juno's okay.
excuse me, I worked on Juno.
I don't know what that means.
Did you?
Excuse me.
Is that
yes.
when you were passing on Precious?
Yes.
He said, "If you make this movie, I quit," and then they did.
No, I was like, Juno's really good. We should do this. Like, yeah, we already are. I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
And I hope I get movie credit. Diablo Cody, cool name. Yeah, I think Juno's probably my least favorite of his movies, but no, I don't know.
Agree to disagree.
I'm excited about all the pieces of it. The least excited part I am about that is that it's called Ghostbusters. If that makes any sense.
Sure.
This whole podcast has been us being like, I'm excited about them reapplying this name to something. I'm trying to think of what was the only like original movie.
Tenet.
Probably Tenet. There's maybe something else.
What about Wonder Woman 1984? Is that based on anything?
It might be an original IP.
Oh.
Not sure.
Oh, I would like to thank our other sponsor this week, Policy Genius. And I think Elise checked out Policy Genius and is going to tell y'all a little bit about them.
So here we are, 2020. On Funhaus, we love to talk about sci-fi. What if I told you that you could live in the futuristic utopia that we want to be in if you just used Policy Genius, the most technologically advanced means of shopping for home insurance? First, you head to policygenius.com and answer a few questions about yourself and your property. I did this and it was incredibly easy. It was just clicking through a few screens where I input a little bit of information about myself, nothing too personal, and I didn't have to go and like look up stuff. It was pretty base level questions, and I was able to have Policy Genius then compare my policy against options from top insurers to make sure that I was getting the right insurance coverage at the best possible price. They save other customers an average of $690 per year just doing that. And if they find a better rate than the one that I'm currently paying, they'll do all the legwork to make that switch for me. They also do car insurance, life insurance, any insurance you can think of, Policy Genius has. So if these sci-fi future visions of homes of 2020 still haven't become science fact by the time that this read is over, don't get discouraged. Get home insurance at policygenius.com. In minutes, you can get the ball rolling on a policy for a new home or reshop your current policy. Policy Genius, we'll always get the future wrong, but get home insurance right.
So Policy Genius, we'll always get the future wrong, but it's better to get home insurance right. You can get home insurance in minutes at policygenius.com. Thanks, Policy Genius, for bringing us here this week to talk about things coming up in 2020. I'm pretty stoked for Curb Your Enthusiasm. I think that's just a couple of weeks away, actually.
Yeah.
I love me some Larry.
Me too. Pretty
Cringe comedy.
Pretty good.
I'm excited to see John Hamm show up and be just as awful as Larry, maybe.
Yeah, the trailer has that great montage of people telling him to get the fuck out.
All I saw is the one promo. We were watching Silicon Valley, and there was a promo for Curb Your Enthusiasm coming in January. I was like, what? I had no idea. So I'm probably not going to watch any trailers for it. I can wait until January for some Curb. Man.
I didn't watch the last season. I'm guessing it was great.
It's always
Always
great.
is.
Yeah.
It's always great. I love that show.
Yeah.
Elise, is there anything that we haven't talked about that you're still looking forward to?
I mean, there's lots that I'm like hopeful and interested
Crudes
in.
2?
No,
Oh, you're the Crudes man, right?
They should have called it Trudes.
Like,
As long as Nick Cage is back.
James, you're probably curious about The Witches.
What is The Witches?
It's based
The
on the
Roald Dahl.
Roald Dahl.
Yeah.
Can you
Oh,
do
yeah.
it better than we've already done it before? Angelica
not.
Houston?
Yeah.
Will she be returning?
Only time will tell.
Well, I'll tell you this. Every single time they've made another version of a Roald Dahl movie, it's never been as good as the one made 50 years prior. So I will reserve judgment on Witches. I think Top Gun.
Yeah?
Top Gun Maverick
Yeah.
is in there.
Curious.
Like, that's going
Don't
to
they-
satisfy me. I need a Tom Cruise hit like once a year, every single year. So
I thought they kicked you out of the Air Force at a certain age. They're like, no, you can't fly planes because you'll crash it because you're an old man.
Well, yeah, if you're bad.
Astigmatism.
Yeah.
Not
If
when
you
you're the
refuse to get
best.
out of the seat, there's nothing they can do.
Yeah.
He lives in there.
What about Morbius? Are you all stoked for Morbius? Everyone's
Oh,
favorite
yeah,
Spider-Man villain?
man.
Absolutely.
Man, I got to get out of here soon because I got a spot in line for Morbius.
Morbius drink through his hands.
In the cartoon, he did because they couldn't show him biting anyone's neck.
That's
There
what
you
I
Oh.
But they could show.
I always thought that was dumb, but I get it now.
Yeah, but
Doesn't make it look
But
dumb.
him being played by Jared Leto is going to be pretty cool.
Oh my god.
Everyone.
The original.
How's he gonna
vampire.
do? I don't know.
Hollywood vampire.
How's Jared Leto supposed to do Joker and Morbius? I don't understand.
Someone's going to have to ask the genius himself.
Someone's
He
gonna
may
sell
no longer
James
be Joker,
bad
James.
news.
What?
No.
Are you kidding me?
They can't get new Joker. That's impossible.
I'll say this: the trailer for Free Guy was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I watched
Is
that,
that this?
trailer.
This
I
is
I had no idea what it was until I watched this trailer, and it does look kind of
Ryan
silly
Reynolds
fun.
is a NPC in a GTA-like world,
Yeah.
and he becomes self-aware.
This is
That's
one of
interesting.
those movies that they couldn't wait to announce the premise of. Mm-hmm. It was like, it's a video game movie. So I feel like I've been hearing about it so much, but then when it's happening, you're like, it doesn't sound very good. I don't know how this is going to be fun. But the trailer did make it seem pretty fun, and I think it did a pretty good job only showing like a small kind of fraction of what the movie actually is going to be.
And Ryan Reynolds is just enjoyable.
Yeah. He's a delight.
Yeah, I think he will make it fun. Where I think probably any other actor probably would have just. The movie does feel somewhat, just in the trailer, looks kind of generic and looks like it follows a sort of a template of a film, but it's a funny enough idea, and hopefully it seems to be made by people who at least have some kind of understanding of what a video game is.
Hope so.
Even though it's like generic enough for people to go, oh, I get it. It's a video game my son plays.
Yeah.
Other video game movie is Uncharted. I've never played any of the
right.
Uncharted games, but it always seemed like an Indiana Jones ripoff.
Yeah, you ever seen Indiana Jones before?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've played it.
Cool.
Tom Holland just feels so young.
Yeah,
to
I
be
don't know
Nathan
how that
Drake.
works as Nathan Drake, but
It's kind of strange. To me.
I don't know.
Maybe they're counting on making like 6 of them.
Probably.
They wanted him to be able to
They're
live through it.
gonna dub his voice with Nathan Fillion though, which is great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good Morning, Good Night, or Good Morning, Midnight is this like George Clooney joint where it's like some like I don't know if it's somebody stranded in like the Arctic or it's somebody stranded in space, but it's one of those movies where
Okay.
it's like bring him home. I think.
I like George Clooney and things.
Yeah, I'm kind of like that's probably gonna be a good soft sci-fi movie.
Mhm.
Okay.
No one's stoked for Bad Boys for Life?
Well, it's not Michael Bay, is it?
I don't think so.
I don't think it is. So
No, he
thank
made
you.
a Netflix movie that came out
Yeah. No, thank
tomorrow
you.
/ a month ago.
I'll
Did
wait
it?
for
Oh.
I'll wait for Michael Bay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
See who
Whatever.
did
Who
make it.
cares? I honestly I love Bad Boys 1. Bad Boys 2 was like too far into the realm of cartoon for me to like really kind of get into. And so the idea that there's another one coming out that doesn't even have Michael Bay involved makes me even less
It's got
interested.
2 directors.
Ooh,
Sure.
that's good. That's
Is
a
it-
good sign.
Is it?
It takes 2 to equal 1 Michael Bay, essentially, because his mind is he's one of basically the Space Marines from Warhammer, where as the left side of his brain goes to bed, the right side wakes up, and it's constantly switching, so he can stay awake at all times.
If you want to see images of what Adam's talking about, go to the Funhaus blog, where we will have pictures of Space Marines, it would appear.
It's filmhouse.blog,
Yeah.
.cc.co.uk.ru, .org.
There's Godzilla versus King Kong,
Don't care.
Yeah.
which the problem is
I don't
haven't
understand
been
how
able
the
to
scale works.
I haven't been able to finish watching Godzilla.
Oh, that's right. The
Or
second one came
Godzilla
out.
2.
It's hard.
Well, no, the most recent Godzilla, which is like almost like a very loose, soft, like we are kind of going to acknowledge the other Godzilla movie that came out, but even this one is like kind of even more King of the Monsters or whatever. That one.
I
Didn't
was,
finish it.
I just didn't know. I liked parts of the first Godzilla. I hated all the human stuff. I
Yeah.
love the Godzilla parts.
And so they made another one. They were like, you know what? What if we had just as much human stuff?
Yeah.
Only this time put a bunch of monsters in it, so you're like, wait, now I know what I could have, and you're not
Yeah,
getting
like
it.
I almost wish it was like more ridiculous. Like Godzilla's destroying a city, and then the camera pans over to a cliff top, and then you see Godzilla, or sorry, pardon me, you see King Kong, like cowering over the cliff top, and he like looks at Godzilla, and his eyebrow like furls. Like he's like, no, not on my watch.
Aren't they both the good guys? I don't know who's.
No, I want them to fight.
I thought
Whatever,
that King Kong movie was
Watanabe.
pretty good.
You thought what?
That King Kong movie was pretty fun.
Skull Island?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought
Had
it
a
was
cool
fine.
look. It was all orange and stuff.
Yeah, special effects were top notch.
I still don't get how a King Kong, which is a big creature, fights a Godzilla, which is like a building
Because
site.
they made Godzilla bigger than ever, which I thought was cool.
So
and then Kong is
How does he get? Does he get big? Is that part of the plot? Maybe.
yeah.
Kong?
He like starts working out and gets taller.
Maybe he's got
Maybe.
like monkey brothers that help him fight.
They
Godzilla.
combine
Like,
into a
this
bigger
is
monkey.
God, I should just write like a fun like Godzilla.
Yeah,
do it.
you
Just
should.
King
Maybe
Kong
this weekend.
like not even not script. I'm just saying like here's what would happen. A treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Just a fun thing.
I'm curious to see it, but I have not to be pessimistic, but I'm just like
It's hard.
there's nothing about those that get me like super excited. Whereas like these things have been around forever and we've kind of seen it before, and it's gonna probably be the special effects are probably gonna be pretty nice to look at.
Yeah.
But if I have to slog through all the human stuff, like I did not care about who's that actor,
Millie
Quicksilver.
Bobby Brown.
No, oh yeah, she was. Well, I didn't
Yeah.
even see the second one yet.
Oh
should
yeah,
Oh,
Aaron
Aaron-
Taylor Johnson.
yeah.
Aaron Taylor John. I just saw one of my favorite scenes ever. He's got that little Asian boy. He goes, "Where? Help! Help!" And this woman goes, "That's my child." And he goes, "Okay." Just off to find my wife, who plays my sister in other movies.
What's it called? Dolomite is my name, and Eddie Murphy's performance in that got me thinking like maybe Coming to America will be good because maybe Eddie Murphy's like I'm ready to
He's
be back
acting
in
again.
acting again.
Is it a sequel?
I
Yeah,
believe
think
so, yeah.
It is
Still
the
in
number
America?
2.
Is in Coming to America.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting. Some kid. It's going to be a wedding, right? It's got to be like Father of the Bride type scenario.
Is it got like a shafts sort of motif? We got 3 shafts. We get yeah. It was just called Shaft. Should have been called Shafts. There were many shafts.
Are we getting Moon Knight next year, James?
The show?
Yeah.
I don't know.
remember.
I mean,
What do your sources tell you,
Here's the
James?
thing: if they can get a show together for 2020, that would be insane. That would be crazy. And you know what's crazy? Moon Knight. So it would be so on brand if Moon Knight popped in 2020.
Wait, but James, Taskmaster is in the Black Widow movie.
Oh,
Don't worry.
he's also white.
Taskmaster isn't gonna mess with Moon Knight.
Why wouldn't he mess with him?
Because Moon Knight's so crazy that Taskmaster, who could fight like Moon Knight, chooses not to because he would kill himself trying to do it because it's so crazy.
Wow.
But how crazy is he?
Insane.
Well, what about because there's Thanos, the Mad Titan.
Yeah.
What's Moon Knight?
Well, he's just mad.
Oh man.
This will never get old.
Is there anything left? Are you guys excited for Barbie or
Yeah.
Soul or Bloodshot?
Yeah.
All of it?
All of it.
I mean, I'm
Artemis
always
Fowl?
open to a movie surprising me in the way that the Lego movie did. Like that movie, I would not have said like this is going to be a great movie that I love and it's emotion, it inspires emotion. No, it was wonderful. So if Barbie can do that, I don't know that it will.
So sign up for Movie Pass today, and you can see all. Oh, did they go to business?
Ruh-roh.
Wow, it's fine. It's a
There's, like,
flawed business
Other
model.
little things I'm like curious about, but we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll watch 6 more Marvel movies this year.
I think you only get 2.
Fuck you.
Oh, I think that's it this week. We don't have time to talk about the Highlander reboot. I'm sorry, you guys.
no.
But we will be back next week. Thanks for coming around. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Divorce papers. What are these, Scarjo?
Pretty close. Pretty close.
It's pretty good.
That's your Oscar? That's
Yeah,
all it is?
yeah.
He's going to go up there and go,
Thank you. Thank you for the Oscar.
He was really good in silence.
I'll go get him my
Good in
TIE
Black
fighter
Klansman.
now.
He's fucking good.
He's good in everything. Again, there needs to be a casting